Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second in a series of webinars that we are doing here at oroCRM. My name is Jari Carter, and I'm the co-founder and Chief Revenue Officer here at Oro, and excited to talk to you about what we're doing and share some customer case studies and also show a demo to you today. So let's just jump right in. Let me just quickly introduce our team. We have on the call here myself and Brandon Briggs, who's our business development manager here. And today we're going to be walking you through a multi-channel webinar. So this webinar is specifically focused on the multi-channel customer segment, which is actually a very big and growing segment within our community. So today, just to walk through quickly the agenda, we are going to introduce oroCRM to those of you on the call that may not be as familiar with us. We're going to do that really briefly in 2-3 minutes, and then we're going to walk through a handful of case studies. We have 4 case studies to walk you through today across different countries, different industries, but all really focusing on the similar problem of multi-channel CRM issues. Then I'm going to, at that point, turn the time over to Brandon, who's going to actually do a product demonstration. And then we're going to wrap up, and if there's time still available, we're going to have a Q&A at the end, which I'll jump on and manage the Q&A here. So with that, let's just start with kind of an introduction to oroCRM. It's hard to introduce us as a business without really introducing the market challenges that we saw when we started the business. The challenges that we saw was that there was really no CRM for multi-channel businesses, e-commerce, B2B commerce, multi-channel customers that were communicating and selling across multiple different communications and sales channels. There just weren't systems that really address their needs. Existing CRM systems felt and looked very one-dimensional in terms of how they address the market needs, and for a lot of people that were running complex and diverse businesses, they felt alienated by existing CRM vendors, and we felt like there was an opportunity to create a CRM for multi-channel businesses based on a flexible, reliable, and open business platform, which really kept flexibility at the key to everything that we were doing. So how has that been received? Well, we've had a lot of momentum since we started. So since we launched the product, we've had over 280,000 site visitors. Actually, I think that data may be even a little bit dated. We may be up over 300,000 now. We've had over 35,000 product downloads. We have 15 worldwide partners. We've had a worldwide adoption that's happened with over 1,500 active oroCRM customers around the world. So in the short year since we've been in market, and we actually have been in market just a year, we've seen lots and lots of momentum. Now, what has driven that momentum? So much of what has driven the momentum in the market for us has been this idea that multi-channel businesses want to have a single view of their customers across all their business and sales channels. So that means, you know, if they're using Magento or eBay or other marketplaces or have a point-of-sale system, they want to aggregate all that sales and customer data to a single place. They also want to aggregate all their communications data in a single place as well, so that they can communicate with their customers in a coherent way across all their across all their communication channels. So it really comes down to sort of sales and communication. Now, stepping forward, you can look at this visually on the next slide here that really collects all of this information. Things like Zendesk, which is an integration we have, Magento, which is an integration we have, social data, which can get pulled into oroCRM, all into a single customer view. And that single customer view is very valuable for 2 distinct groups. One is for sales in managing and optimizing their customer relationships and deepening their customer relationships and how they communicate with their customers. And the second group is the marketing organizations, that once they have this single view of their customer, they can do very powerful customer segmentation. And we're going to actually, I'm going to stop talking about this theoretically because I want to get directly into the case studies that we have to share with you today, which are very, very powerful. The first one I want to talk about is Sparesbox. So I'm going to tell you just the format of this is I'm going to introduce the company. I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenges that they faced, and then I'm going to talk about the solution that we were able to offer. So Sparesbox is a great example. They were founded with really a simple goal, and that is to make it easier to shop for automotive parts online. They really excel in meeting the needs of individual car lovers with everything that you need for your specific car care. So the challenge was that they are a custom parts store, and they didn't have the same needs as just a general parts retailer. Each Sparesbox customer had unique needs to their specific vehicle. And Sparesbox needed a way to unify customer purchase data and communications. Customer interactions were spread across platforms that included eBay, MailChimp, and Zendesk. And to meet their customer needs, Sparesbox really needed a CRM to be able to maintain customer profiles and keep up with all communications. Because of their unique customer needs, they also needed very intelligent customer segmentation, particularly for their marketing organization, to have very specific communication with their customers based on their specific car make and model with their vehicles. So what was the solution? Well, oroCRM really allowed them to see customer information from all sales and communications channels in a single place. Our flexible segmentation engine, which we're going to show you later today and we're excited about talking about, really now assures that every customer gets the information that's most relevant to their specific needs. So for example, a customer who buys an oil filter most likely needs oil too. And in a few months, it's likely that they'll need a fuel filter or another maintenance product. So our ability to capture kind of this this information and then create segments and ongoing nurturing is very, very powerful for the ROI, the overall business ROI for Sparesbox. Also, our ability to capture offline sales opportunities and to track orders through the sales funnel means that fewer prospects fall away. There was also an integration with Zendesk, which consolidates the customer communication and really leads to a higher level of customer service satisfaction and engagement. And then oroCRM integration with MailChimp, their email marketing provider, really enables Sparesbox to easily segment and reach out to customers from this wide range of communication and sales channels that they have. So you see, as a conclusion here, oroCRM really has become the central connection point across really a broad range of technologies for Sparesbox and is really allowing them to see, not only see their customer data, but actually take action on that data. So I want to step to the second one that we want to talk about, which is Overture. Since 2001, Overture has created award-winning promotional branding campaigns for businesses of all sizes. So they serve clients worldwide, including some of the world's largest brands like Dr. Pepper, Uber, Google, and NBC. So Overture is serving some of the largest companies in the world. Well, the challenge came for them that in 2011, they launched an e-commerce division called Blue Soda Promo. And you see that's the brand that we're highlighting here today. This brand was really set to offer promotional services to businesses online. Blue Soda offers over 100,000 customizable promotional items. They had very, very fast growth to several millions of dollars in revenue, which meant that Blue Soda needed a scalable, customizable CRM to ensure that the company could continue to grow. They needed the ability to create simple, customizable workflows without needing extensive customization. So they needed flexibility without a lot of complexity, which is something we hear over and over again. They also needed a solution that would allow them to see marketing campaign results across the website, social media, both paid and organic search traffic. And they needed an easy way to track follow-ups with customers. So again, no customers fell through the cracks. So is that starting to sound familiar? There's a theme being brought here across these customers. Well, the solution was oroCRM now allows their account managers to see data from all communication channels, including phone, email, web forms, even live chat in a single comprehensive view. Once the data is in oroCRM, it's easy for marketing managers as well to gather metrics from individual marketing channels and campaigns. oroCRM workflows that we worked with them to create along with one of our partners, DMAC Media, really helps to streamline communications. So for example, automatic reminders are sent to customers at key intervals. Drip emails guide prospects through the sales funnel, and account representatives can see what happened earlier in the communication process, allowing them to touch customers at the right time with the right messages. So it's really making the account managers more effective in their role because they really have a holistic view of their customers. I want to walk through a third one, which is 40 Winks, and we're starting to see a trend coming out of these multi-channel case studies that we're seeing. 40 Winks is a leading retailer. Just to give you kind of a quick overview of them, they're a leading retailer of bedding brands and high-quality bedroom furniture based in Australia. They have a franchise business model which really creates growth opportunity, but it also creates challenges in customer management and centralizing customer management. The challenge that they faced was that they needed a single view of customers across their point of sale, e-commerce, customer service, and their in-store lead capture. They needed a measurement of omni-channel conversion rate across all of these different channels that they were capturing customer information. And they needed marketing automation based on customer behavior and where that customer was positioned in the sales cycle. And then lastly, they needed the ability to capture prospects and leads via any device in any location. So they really had just lots of different ways they were touching customers, they were connecting with customers, and they really needed a way to manage that. Not to mention that this was actually done through a lot of different franchises, so the data was very disparate and not unified across all the franchises. Well, the result was they worked with Balance Internet out of Australia and their local CRM offering. That's a specific offering that Balance Internet has come up with around oroCRM to really create a solution customized and configured to the needs of the franchise sector. They are now receiving aggregated data across all sales channels and customer service interactions, and they're gaining this single view of customer across all of these different complex interactions. And the franchisor in this case, which is the 40 Winks brand, is actually now starting to gain this intelligent view and being able to aggregate all of these metrics across their franchisees to make everyone more profitable and successful. The last one I want to talk about is DeFam. And this is a company called DeFam Automation. They're based out of France. They've been in business for 30 years. Some of you may know businesses like this, or maybe you are a business like this. But they have been in business for 30 years selling garage doors and other associated products. Traditionally, they were a B2B focused organization only, but in 2013, the company actually opened a new B2C e-commerce channel, and they now have a physical office presence as well as 2 e-commerce sites. The one commerce site is for B2B, the other commerce site is for B2C. The challenge was really an opportunity, and all this opportunity, all this growth across B2C online and B2B online was really starting to create single view of customer issues for them. They had customers across sales channels and different customer types from B2B to B2C. They wanted to treat and manage them in different ways. They wanted to interact with them in different ways, and they really needed to unify customer information across all channels for 2 reasons. The same 2 reasons that we're seeing across all these other case studies. One, they wanted to optimize their customer interactions and customer service, and second, they wanted to optimize their marketing operations so that they were touching the customers from a marketing standpoint on the right needs at the right time with the right offers. And so the result was, with oroCRM, they were able to get a single view of their customers across all of these purchase channels. They were actually launched incredibly quickly. So whereas if they would have tried to do this with another CRM vendor, this would have been a 6 to 9 month project, they were able to, within just a couple of months, and with the help of our partner Sonolia in France, they were able to very quickly get up and running with a single view of their customer across all of these channels. With tools for sales and customer service, they're now able to manage these customer relationships in oroCRM based on a real view of their customers. And with tools for marketing, they're now able to market to customers based on a single view of their customers. So whether the purchase happens in the online B2B channel, whether it happens offline, in-store, or whether it happens in their B2C channel, DeFam can actually market to their customers based on the holistic customer view. They get to see full total customer lifetime sales value. They're starting to gain and see RFM metrics across all of these different channels and in each of these different channels so that they know which channel is most profitable and which is most successful. And this allows them to make better marketing decisions and to have a more targeted focus in how they interact with their customers. The common theme in each of these case studies is that despite the fact that each of these companies has lots of technologies that touch their customers, oroCRM starts to be the core engine that really aggregates all of this information across all of these customer views, or across all of this customer information. oroCRM starts to become the aggregator, and it becomes that because it actually has the tools for to give a better customer interaction, and it has the tools to create better targeted marketing. So there's a reason that oroCRM starts to become the core of how these companies are interacting with their customers. It's because it has the tools and the ability to do that. So with that, we always think a demo is worth 1,000 words. Probably in this case, a demo is worth 1,000,000 words. So along with these case studies, we actually wanted to show you a demo of what multi-channel CRM looks like and how it can work for your organization. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brandon, who I introduced in the beginning as our business development manager, who's going to walk us through a brief demo of multi-channel CRM.
Thanks, Jari. Appreciate it. So today, like Jari mentioned, we've talked a lot about multi-channel CRM. We just now want to start showing you some of the benefits of how multi-channel retailers, like the ones that Jari mentioned, are actually using Oro. Today, we're going to start with talking about integrations and setting those up, getting them connected. Talk about channels as well as how we divide those into channels. And then turn our focus to what sales, marketing, and customer service staff will actually use and see in terms of kind of multi-channel use. So today, I'm actually going to start from the system menu and actually go down just from an integration standpoint and talk to you just for a second about integrations. Now, out of the box, oroCRM comes connected to softwares like Magento. And then further from that, we actually have a marketplace which includes a whole slew of additional connectors as well, and more are coming on a daily basis, it seems like. So things like Zendesk, things like MailChimp, if those are interesting integration points for you and your business, they can certainly be found in the marketplace, and those extensions are fairly easily added to your instance of oroCRM, and we have a great partner network, as Jari pointed out, that can help you get those configured properly. So, from an integration standpoint today, I've got Zendesk and MailChimp, and I've got 2 different Magento stores, and this will start to give you the sense for what multi-channel or multi-integration in this case will do for you. Now, second to that is channels and channel management. So I'm going to go and pull up our channels really quickly, just so you can start to see that beyond the integration points, now we want to integrate, or we want to bring those into channels. So we have channels like Amazon, in eBay. We've got a B2B or an offline sales channel. That channel focuses highly on leads and opportunity management. Electronic store channel, which is a Magento store that we're bringing in, as is the Jones store. So you can see there's a lot of potential channels that you can bring into oroCRM. We'd be happy to meet and discuss with anybody individually as well some of your challenges and your channels, and what an integration and bringing those in might look like at any time. So moving on from channels, I just want to actually kind of talk about sales for just a minute. And to do that, I want to show you an account view, because the account view is really where we start to consolidate all of these various different sales channels into one view that your users can log in, see, and then of course take action around. So the account view, this is a good example right here of a B2B type customer. You can see AL Price is the account or the business actually here that we've got, and we've got multiple contacts. We've got Jennifer, Arthur, Michael, a lot of people at this organization that we work with. It works really well this way, as well as Ashley, who's a more traditional B2C customer that we've got here. You can see from Ashley's account view, she is the account and she is the single contact at her account. In both cases, whether it's B2B or wholesale clients or something that you're working like AL Price, or if it's that B2C market, oroCRM can work equally well. Not only can it handle just one or the other, it can handle both with the same set of customers or with different sets of customers. So it's a very flexible tool, and you can see the account view is this one area where we start to pull all of this information in. Now, like many of the other CRMs out there, and you come to expect, there's a lot of actions that you can take here at the account level. Sending emails, as you can see here, logging phone calls. We're not going to spend time in terms of most of those today, but I do want to point those out that oftentimes other CRM systems include this as their multi-channel nature, right? They look at this and they say, sending an email, logging phone calls in one system, that's multi-channel. We certainly have a much broader view of multi-channel, and that's where I want to spend my time and focus today. So I'm going to click here across the top and jump down to our B2B channel. This is an area here where, again, we have leads and opportunities, and kind of that traditional CRM flow that you would think through of being able to take these opportunities and these leads, and convert them into opportunities, and hopefully closing those opportunities. So works really well here. You can see this nice view at the account level. We've got this, but as well as that, we actually, as we start to come down just a little bit further, what you can see is we have our electronic store. This was that Magento channel that we talked about just a little bit earlier. All of these orders are being synchronized in from Magento and also related back to this particular account. So we've seen some good use cases around how this might work. There might be a lead and opportunity kind of management to a B2B business, but oftentimes they have e-commerce storefronts as well, and they want to represent those orders and shopping carts and things of that nature directly in that same account view where they have leads and opportunities. So we provide that along with a number of other things as well. Now that we've consolidated multiple contacts at this particular account, you can see Rose here. Rose, she makes purchases online. This is her information as it comes in from our Magento channel, but we also have Jennifer over here. Jennifer has her own unique login to her Magento store and also makes purchases on behalf of this account, but not as many as Rose. So you can see that we are able to group these together into one single account so we know and understand things like lifetime sales value of this customer, or even lifetime sales value by channel, as you can see down below. But we group them together in such a way that it's very easy to actually see all of the impact, all of the orders that AL Price has, and specifically who is actually placing those orders on behalf of AL Price. Now, in terms of RFM score, Jari mentioned RFM being is one of the use cases. This happens by channel as well, and so being able to score your customers in such a way that in one channel is different than another channel is a very useful feature of oroCRM for just identifying your top customers and how you might want to work directly with them. So this is kind of showing you all aspects, right? A B2B customer and maybe a B2C customer all in one screen. But as you integrate with your own stores, if B2B is not applicable, or let's say one of these Magento stores is not applicable, only those channels which are applicable to this particular account will actually show up here, keeping that data very relevant, to the account at hand, and then from there you can go on and do lots of different things throughout Oro, but keeping only the most important information at the forefront. So moving on from kind of the sales perspective, we also have our customer service perspective. Oftentimes customer service, besides taking advantage of a lot of these tools up here, this activity stream, the logging emails and phone calls, beyond that, oftentimes case management or ticket management becomes a pretty big issue for customer service teams. We handle those. You can see this down here. We have a shipment issue, a case that's open for AL price right now. It's been assigned. It's in progress. It's a high priority. So if we click on that particular case, what you're going to see here is we're taken directly into our case management system. From here, you can bring in lots of channel data from various different types of channels. If you're using Zendesk, as mentioned earlier, that information can actually be synchronized in from Zendesk. We have a previous webinar that talks all about that integration with Zendesk. You can take this ticket, which was created in Oro, and pretty easily publish this out to Zendesk if you wanted to. So Zendesk could be used as one channel, including all of the channels in which they connect to. All of those can now become possible for bringing in tickets and case information directly through any channel Zendesk is connected to, directly down into oroCRM to form part of that 360-degree customer view, or the account view as we call it. There's other channels as well from a system menu. Embedded forms. If you want to take and embed a form on your website, have that form filled out and drive those inquiries directly in as contact requests into oroCRM, that is another customer service channel that we see in use a lot by most of the retailers who use oroCRM. And email, of course, last but not least, right? Being able to take those emails, running out, if it's an inbox of emails, you've got one located out here on your dashboard. You can also view items like your sent emails, and all of these emails actually come in to context inside of that account view as well. So from a customer service perspective, there's a lot of features that you can take advantage of by bringing all of that channel information in. Now, from a marketing standpoint, that's another additional channel inside of oroCRM that we should look at. Tracking websites is usually the first area that we start to get a lot of questions about. Tracking websites in oroCRM essentially allows you to embed some code on your website and start to track customer behavior in a known customer way. So there's a lot of analytic tools that are out there that track customer behavior. What oroCRM does, and it's in the tracking websites feature, is now associate that tracking code to the individual CRM users inside your database and make that known. So, for example, as we scroll down here a little bit lower, what you can see is Ashley. Ashley, as a customer, is browsing on our website. She's doing things like jumping into checkout, adding items to her cart, and we're starting to track all that information in context of Ashley herself. So down the road, as you build reports and segmentation, or even included in our next release, we're actually enhancing this feature quite a bit as well, so watch for that in a couple of weeks. But you're going to see a lot of additional things in the account view where now you can understand the products that Ashley's looking at, the things that she is interested in, and be able to really start to target and send messages appropriate to her. Campaign management is the next one. From a campaign management perspective, now that you have the tracking website code embedded in Oro, you can see that you can launch these various different campaigns. And from these campaigns, you can measure specific events that take place. From those events, again, now we have a known customer base here. You can then take and really start to target or see the effectiveness of a segment that you've previously targeted in terms of a campaign that you've launched. We do that through the use of either URL parameters or through code that can be embedded on specific landing pages that can then interact with that tracking code that's already on the site. And then last but not least, of course, email marketing and marketing lists. This is probably the most common use case for marketing and segmentation that we see in a multi-channel way, is that now you certainly use an email marketing platform that's out there, MailChimp, .mailer, Bronto, something like that, for a lot of your marketing needs. The one thing that we see that's pretty consistent is that oroCRM now has access to data that a lot of those email marketing platforms do not have access to. So, being able to create a segment based on geography, based on products that were previously visited and they were interested in, customers who it's the first time that they've made a purchase potentially, they're located within a certain geography, and they have an open ticket, for example, and you want to reach out to these customers who are having issues potentially with with a product or something like that, and be able to target them in a different way that you would target other customers. Very common use case there. So what you see from a marketing list perspective as you go through this, we've identified a few new web customers, for example. This is just a dynamic marketing list that we have created, and we actually have connected directly up to MailChimp. That's being synchronized earlier today. And you can see here's a list of our customers. If I hit edit, what you're going to see is how we came up with this particular marketing list. Now, marketing lists, again, can be based off of a number of different things, but in our case here, we're saying, give us our web customer data. Let's make this a dynamic segment. We've added just a few columns over here, first name, last name, and email address, because we want to target them, with an email. And then we've added some filters, dragged, dropped, and actually added some filters in terms of just identifying customers within a certain time frame. Ours is a little large just because it's sample data, so we don't have any customers in the last couple days that have made any purchases. And then customers who have a lifetime sales value, simply greater than 1. This marketing list, if we go back out to it, again allows us to contact people, segment these customers in a very dynamic way to be able to reach out to them. Lots of potential use cases of how you could use oroCRM segmentation. From a welcome series of newsletters to customer service initiatives down to just targeting the right people based on their behavior online. Now, to kind of round this out in terms of reporting, that's probably the last area that I'd like to focus on today. These custom reports that we have inside of oroCRM, or that you can build, I should say, inside of oroCRM, are just that. They're custom. You come through, you can create a report based on any data that you have. I've got one here, multi-channel top customers. If I go over to this particular report and actually edit the report, what you're going to see is a report builder that looks and feels exactly like that marketing lists and that segmentation ability that we showed you just a minute earlier. Now, from a reporting standpoint, we get all kinds of different requests on reports that people want to create, things that they're not able to do in their business today. Things like just being able to have multiple business units, multiple channels in which you associate those two. Being able to pair data up. You can see multi-channel, in this case multi-channel top customers. It's an account entity-based report, but yet at the same time, we're looking at multiple channels here. So we're saying take the lifetime sales value of my B2B channel, my 2 Magento stores, but potentially my point of sale system or my ERP system, and really give me a sense for the total lifetime sales value of my customers across all of those channels so that we can then report accurately now that we have all of that data consolidated into one system in oroCRM. Really helps give you kind of a macro view of your customers from all those channels as you bring them in. Now, all of this information, it's a real quick overview. I would highly encourage, if interested, to contact us directly. We'd love to actually sit down and go through this piece by piece with any one of you, either for yourselves or for your customers, on how we can build a potential solution. We have use cases that range pretty dramatically, as Jerry has shown you, but even beyond that, the use cases that range across all different industry types. Earlier today, I was on a call. We were discussing a company in the HR realm, and they just want to be able to manage payroll type services and things like that. oroCRM works really well for those types of scenarios, as it does in the retail environment, which is most of what we've highlighted here today. So I think with that, I'll probably end the demo there and pass it back to you, Jerry.
Thanks so much, Brandon. Great job. Would love to take a few minutes. We've left a few minutes in the webinar to answer some questions. So feel free to add your questions to the chat here, and we would be glad to answer those. So any questions that are coming, please just put them in the chat. And I have noticed, Brandon, that you have a back channel ability to manage the questions here. So would love it if you maybe highlight any questions that get brought up. Again,
I think there's a question that says Jari did a great job, but other than that, I think we're pretty good.
Perfect. All right. It looks like, we have one. How straightforward is integration with ERP and marketplaces? Brandon, do you want to touch on that? Maybe I'll highlight anything you missed there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, every one of these ERP systems and marketplaces, they're all custom. So certainly it does require some custom work as we get to do that. Now, Amazon, eBay, those are extensions that have come from our partner El Trino. Those are available in the marketplace. MailChimp, for example, is one that we built there. I mean, they range typically. So we've done integrations, everywhere from very common ERP and point of sale systems to some of the lesser known, very industry specific systems. We've seen integrations as low as maybe 100 hours worth of work. And we've seen integrations that go as high as 300 or 400 hours worth of work. So essentially, it really just kind of starts to depend on what you want to see, what data you want moving back and forth. But maybe a 100 to 300 hour range. I know it's a very broad range, but we do see a lot of custom integrations come in terms of that type of a range.
Perfect. Yeah, I would just echo that. I mean, I think it just very much depends. It depends on what you want to integrate and how you want to integrate the systems and what information you want to be passed. It can be very simple, and it can also be fairly complex. The great thing is there's so much flexibility in the product. Really, we never have to say no to customers. We've never actually looked at an integration and said, nope, that's not possible. Everything is possible. It just is how much customization you want to do to that. And that actually probably would go for this next question as well. The question comes that says, how easy is it to integrate with point of sale systems? Is it straightforward like the Magento connector? So I would say it's probably not as straightforward as the Magento connector, only because typically people want to take that point of sale information and create workflows around that. So if you just want a very simple connection, it can be rather simple. But if you want some more complexity, some workflows, some customization to that connection, there can be some integration with that. The other question, and Brandon, maybe I'll pass this to you, is can the RFM analysis be applied to any channel? And maybe you could talk through how RFM analysis is applied.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to answer that. So in terms of RFM analysis, absolutely. It can be applied on a channel-by-channel basis. So what I'm doing here, I'm actually showing one of our Magento store channels that you can see here. It's our electronics store, and you can see down below here as we configure this channel. Let me hit edit really quick so you're able to see these buckets. But essentially, on a channel-by-channel basis, you get to determine, what makes a good score, what makes a bad score, right? In terms of recency, frequency, and monetary value. And you're just presented with a grid, just like I'm showing here, in order to configure those on a channel-by-channel basis. So pretty straightforward and customizable on with each of your channels.
Yeah, so you're highlighting that it's not just customizable on a channel-by-channel basis, but actually customizable on a business-by-business basis as to how you want to track and measure the recency, frequency, and monetary value.
Correct.
That's great. And one thing I will say is we were sort of deciding whether to build this feature or not is this actually came at the request of some of the largest and most sophisticated clients. So some customers we talk to about this and they say, yes, absolutely, it's a must-have, and no other CRM has it, and this is a big differentiator between you and other CRM systems. and other people say, actually we've never heard of RFM analysis, or that's a new sort of concept for us, but once we actually talk through how they can actually use it to understand their customer better and how they can actually use it to create common language within their organization, it becomes a very, very strategic part of the implementation and a very used feature. So that was a great question around the RFM analysis. There's one more question here that I want to take, and then we'll wrap up here. It says, can we manage customers' information directly from oroCRM to, say, Magento? That's actually a great common question that we get. Brandon, do you want to show that, how that happens, managing customer information directly from oroCRM to Magento?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of managing customer information, again, it comes down to the integration itself. First of all, once you're integrated, and as that information starts to flow, it'll automatically populate and create contacts, for example. It'll create accounts. So as you can see down this list here, all of the accounts that are in this particular list actually have come from Magento or from our B2B, sales channel. Now, if you make an update to any one of these, including some of the order information, you do have the option to actually synchronize these back up to Magento and kind of manage in a bi-directional way if you so choose. So there's two approaches. One is just basically deciding whether or not you want to enable this two-way synchronization between Magento and oroCRM. Things like updating a customer's name, customer's address, things like that in the CRM, whether you want that to trickle back up through and actually modify Magento, or if you just want Magento to bring information down and update oroCRM. So it can work in either way, very flexible, just in terms of how you like to see that work for your business.
Great, thanks so much. The last question, this really is the last question, but it's a great one. It comes from our partner Falco over at Medea, is can I use RFM analysis in reporting? So can we build reports and segments around RFM analysis? Just in the interest of time, we won't walk through and show that, but the answer is yes, absolutely. RFM scoring can be used in your reporting. You can do reports, dashboards, and customer segments all around the RFM analysis that you've customized and set for your business. And we're happy to jump into additional questions around that and best practices that we've seen across other customers. So with that, we want to thank you for coming today. We're just at the time mark. We have a few more questions, but we'll answer those offline to the individuals that asked them. So thanks to everybody who participated. You'll get an answer from us. And we welcome you to join us again in April as we go through our oroCRM webinar highlighting the connection specifically with Magento. So look for that invitation. You'll all get an invitation to join that webinar. Thank you very much, and have a great day.